27.
Okay, okay. Anybody else?
Freedom.
What's most important to you?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay. I didn't hear anybody say my business. So what I do as a business coach, I work primarily with micro entrepreneurs and very small business owners to help them get off the hamster wheel of hustle and grow a profitable, sustainable business doing what they love. That's what I do. That's why I'm here today. I wrote the book, Creative Freedom, How to Own Your Dreams Without Selling Your Soul. It is a guide to personal and financial success. As a creative entrepreneur, that's the primary audience that I work with. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's really not sexy. Planning. Specifically, planning for growth for next year, because believe it or not, we're almost there, right? We've got 1 quarter left in a few days, and if you're not already thinking about what next year's going to look like, it's going to come and go faster than you've had a chance to even think about, right? So today, I want to talk about what I call the 5 key areas of success, and you will note, none of them are your business. And the reason that is because small business owners have to build and plan differently than large corporations. Large corporations have a mission statement, and they've got this objective, and they've got all of this big stuff that they think of at the top and then trickle it down to the organization. You are the organization. So you are the top, and you have to be thinking about you. Most of us don't get permission to be selfish about what really matters. And I just asked you, what's most important to you, right? So you need to be building a business that supports that, right? So we've got the thing that matters most to you, and then your business is the vehicle that gets you there. So the first thing I want to teach you is a really simple 3-word phrase. Plan, do, evaluate. Most of us can plan and then do, and then we plan and then do, and then we plan and then do, and we get caught in this circle of not getting things that really matter accomplished because we don't evaluate. Now, I did not develop this little 3-word magical phrase. It actually came from a wilderness camp in Ohio where my son spent 25 months. It's a camp for boys with emotional difficulties, and he's a special needs kid. He's a grown man now, but at the time, he was really struggling just to get through his daily life. And so plan, do, evaluate became a daily mantra for them. They'd make a plan in the morning, they'd execute on that plan, and then at the end of the day, they would sit down and go, what went well? Where were our challenges? What can we do differently tomorrow? You can do the same thing in your life and business every day if you like, once a week, once a month. I typically don't go any farther than a quarter at a time. You really want to make sure you're looking back every 3 months to make sure that you're still on track with your goals. So plan, do, evaluate. But how do we decide what we're going to plan for? That's where the 5 key areas of success come in. They all start with F: faith, family, fitness, fortune, and freedom. Thank God. Freedom is so important. Now, the interesting thing about these 5 key areas of success, 2 things. 1, if you neglect any one of these areas for too long, you can literally die in that area. You neglect your fitness for too long, wah wah. If you neglect your finances, if you're living a life of good fortune for too long, wah wah. You neglect your family for too long, wah wah. Okay? So, the other thing, that second thing, these 5 key areas are defined by you. You get to define success on your terms. What does family look like for you? What does faith look like for you? That doesn't necessarily mean going to church. It can. But what does it mean for you to have a life that has a faith-filled existence? What do you believe in? What do you have hope for? Who is your family? It's not necessarily your blood relatives. Some of us have toxic family members. And we're doing everything in our power to get away from those people. Family as you define it. Some of my best friends are more like family to me than my own family, my blood relations. So who's your family? And what relationship do you want to really work through and improve over the next 12 months and beyond? Fitness. What does fitness look like for you? Not just the container that holds all of your awesomeness, but the awesomeness that's inside that container, right? It's easy to go, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds and set that as a goal. But what about your mind? What about your social and emotional well-being, right? So we want to look at the total package, because y'all are all total packages. sitting at the table, right? All the total package. So faith, family, fitness, fortune. Most of us go, okay, that's my business. But it's not necessarily. How do you live and how do you define a life of good fortune? Think about it. For some of you, it's like big house on a hill with the car and the boat and the water and for other people, it's like, I just really want to be a good parent and have enough. I want to have enough and know that I'm okay. Fine. My definition and your definition do not have to be the same. That's what makes this so great. Because when you're living and defining success on your own terms, you're always successful. Success is a destination, and you're already there. So look around, because this is success right now in this moment. You sitting here at this table, wearing what you're wearing, ordering what you ordered, thinking what you're thinking, that's all a product of everything that you've done that's led you to this moment. So, if you don't like what success looks like right now, you need to make some new choices, some new decisions. You need to do some things differently. And lastly, freedom. What does it mean for you to actually be free? Like, how would you, in this moment, how will you know when you've achieved freedom?
For me, it's making the decision that this is somewhere I want to be. You know, I think it connects to all four of the other pillars that you're talking about.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing. These guys play with each other. They weave in and out. They can overlap. Freedom is kind of, I don't want to call it the catch-all, right? Because other things can trickle in and out. When I first developed this framework, the last F was fun. But here's the thing, freedom's not always fun. Sometimes freedom is hard work. Sometimes freedom takes real effort, right? And if that's the case, then it's not always going to be fun. The rewards at the end are pretty fun. But getting there is sometimes like, oh my gosh, another, really? Again? Okay. And when you can go, this is my goal for freedom. This is what I want for me. And when I have that, I know I will have that sense of freedom. Then when you see those days of, oh my God, again, really? You're willing to get up and go and do the thing because you know where you're headed. So when you take the time to write down those 6 goals, 1 for each key area, 2 for fitness, 1 for the container, and 1 for what's being contained within the container, you have a guiding roadmap for the rest of your life, but for the next year for sure, that helps you move in the direction of what's most important. Are any of you guys familiar with the Eisenhower matrix? You've seen the quadrants. It's important, it's not important, it's urgent, it's not urgent, right? That's the Eisenhower matrix. So many of us spend our time in the urgent, unimportant, because it's right here, right now. Instead of in the important, not urgent. It's not urgent. We don't have to get to it right this second. But if we don't ever get to it, we stay on the hamster wheel all the time. Doing somebody else's stuff, living somebody else's dream. Even in our own businesses, we become employees in our business instead of becoming business owners. So make a plan based on those 5 key areas, because that's what really matters to you. Step into that and own it, and then chart your course for the next 12 months. Now, once you've got an idea of where you're headed for the next 12 months, here's the truth. Life happens, and that plan is going to go off the rails. Okay? Eisenhower, the guy who created the matrix, says, plans are meaningless, but planning is everything. So the act of making the plan sets you on the course. But then detours and roadblocks come up. So you have to come back and evaluate every quarter at the least, right? Every 3 months you want to look back and go, this is what went well, this is where I'm still challenged, this is what's still important as I move forward, so I'm going to bring it with me. And sometimes you look back and you go, oh, that is so not even important anymore. You can leave it behind, it's okay. It's not a judgment on you. Because one of the things I tell my clients quite regularly is that sometimes the goal isn't the goal. Sometimes we have a goal that fires us up and gets us to move, and so we move. And then we step out and we go, oh, I didn't even see that over there, now I want that. But if we stayed where we were, we never would have seen that. So we needed the goal to move us toward the goal, right? So be willing to let go of the things that you thought were important when you make the realization that it's not important anymore. And it's okay. It can be somebody else's. You may have done the work of laying the foundation for somebody else to pick it up and run with it and do something awesome with it that you never could have done. Be willing to let it go, because it's not yours. And it's okay, because you've got something way more awesome waiting for you when you take that step. Any questions on what I just shared? Anybody not have goals? Anybody? Anybody want to share a goal? No? You guys are all like keeping it tight and close to your chest? All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. If you guys want to know more about me, you can find me at LisaRobbinYoung.com. Robbin has 2 B's. I have a free assessment on my website to help you determine what your entrepreneur type is so that you can actually build a business that works for the way you work, so that when you're doing things and setting goals and taking action, it's built around what really matters to you. So, thanks everybody.